climate change,
deadly earthquake,
a suicide bomber,
terrorism,
nuclear device in the heart of the nation's capital.
It's no wonder that we're pessimistic. It's no wonder that people think that the world is getting worse. But perhaps that's not the case.
Perhaps we forget that we've only just begun.
Doing what's never been done before is intellectually seductive, whether or not we deem it practical.
What we're seeing is unfathomably new possibilities all of a sudden becoming available to us.
The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave.
You have to trust in something. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever.
We truly are living in an extraordinary time, and many people forget this.
So now technically your device is on. Can you tell? Can you hear me?
The yearning to do what we do in the service of something larger than ourselves.
Where did we come from? Are we alone in the universe? What is the future of the human race?
When you conduct those exercises, innovation follows just as day follows night.
We can do this. I know we can because we've done it before.
Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Hello, my name is Cervera. I'm 21 years old and I'm currently a college student. And I want to tell you guys a story, a very interesting story about a young boy. I mean, his life is like out of a soap opera. He was born to two parents who were already married to other people. So he grew up an unwanted and unloved child. For the most part, he lived with his mom and his half-siblings, but many times his mom would abandon him to his aunts and uncles while she left with her other children to other cities for weeks, months, years at a time. So it was no secret that he was unwanted. Everyone let him know that. And as a child and as a young boy, he would just wander the streets out of boredom, and he encountered many dangerous people and many dangerous situations. And when he thought he couldn't take no more, and when he thought he was really alone, there was always a stranger there. There was always a kind stranger or a friend that would help him out in the end. And because he didn't have anyone around him to push him forward, he pushed himself forward. He continued his education by himself. I mean, and right around when he hit the time that he was supposed to go to college, I mean, no one thought he would even get to that point, but he did, and he went farther. He made it. He made it through college. He scrimped and he saved, and he lived under the harsh rules of his father because there was no opportunity for him to receive scholarships or help from the government. So he did it. He graduated with a bachelor's in physical education, and I mean, he made it. It's something that almost no one in his family was able to accomplish. And then he met a girl. He met the girl. He did everything for her. I mean, they lived hundreds of miles away from each other, but he found a way to make it work, and he found a way to marry this girl. So right when they were about to start having children, this man, he realized something. He realized that the country that he lived in, that the city that he lived in, was not a place for children. It was not a place where he wanted to raise his family. So he made a choice that changed everything. He decided to give up all his achievements, everything that he'd accomplished, to move to the US so that his family could have a better life. This man is my father. And how many of you guys have a similar story? How many of you guys have heard of a similar story from your parents, that they gave up everything for you? I mean, to move to the US, they gave up their family, their friends, the food and the language that they speak, all their comfort. They gave it up for you. I mean, how many of your parents have pushed you forward? And now I kind of want to take a step in a different direction, and I want to ask you, how easy is it for you to look at everything that's going wrong in your life, all the negative aspects of your childhood, of your schooling right now? How easy is it for you to look at what's wrong? The reality is that it's probably very easy. I know it is for me. And I mean, it's not your fault if it is for you, because that's the way our world is run. Our world is run in looking at the flaws, at the mistakes of others, of everything that's going wrong. I mean, how many times have you turned on the news and it's something that's going good in the world? Something happened really great in another part of the world. No, many times you turn on the news and you hear about a tsunami that hit, a bomb that exploded, about political unrest in another government, about a person that was murdered in a particularly horrifying way. And I just want to encourage you not to stay stuck on that, not to get caught up on that so easily. We live in a country where individuality is valued, where you're not going to be stuck. If you work hard enough, you're not going to be stuck in the place that you were born into if it's a very low place, that you can work hard enough to achieve beyond that. I mean, and individuality should be valued because there's no one like you in this world. There will never be someone like you in this world, and there never has been. You have something that no one has and no one ever will. You can create things and you can design things that no one else can. You are needed in this world, and your skills are desperately needed in this world. And you're living in a place and you're studying in a school where it's possible to discover and develop who you are. Now, I kind of want to ask you guys a silly question. How many of you guys have seen the movie Robots? Yeah, a lot of you. And in this movie, there's this kind of like fat, crazy robot that's like the crazy Einstein of all the robots. And he's this weird TV show about inventing. And on this TV show, he always ends with his motto, see a need, fill a need. And I know that you guys, being from two cultures, you can evaluate each culture and be neutral. I mean, you've seen the needs in your parents' country, or you've seen the needs in the US that surround you. And sometimes these needs bother you and they get to you and they seem unfair and you want to change the reality. And it may be that these needs bother you specifically because you were intended to fill that need. Now at this point you might be really skeptical. You might be thinking, man, this girl just doesn't get it. What is she talking about? I mean, she doesn't know what she's even talking about. And I mean, she doesn't even know me. She definitely doesn't know me. And you're right. I don't know you. I mean, I don't know who you are and I don't know what you've gone through. But I have been a teenager, and I mean, I have gone through stuff. I've been betrayed, I've been abused, I've cried, I've wanted to take my life, I've suffered because of racism. I mean, I've suffered. I know what it's like to go through all these unwanted emotions as a teenager that are just bombarding you constantly. And it's easy to get stuck on that, to just look at your needs, to forget about the needs that you see around you. But you have to realize that you have skills for those needs. You have skills to fulfill those needs. And when you want to give up, just remember, your parents have sacrificed so much for you. I can't forget the sacrifice that my dad made for me. I can't forget the sacrifice that my parents made for me. And I know that if he can go through everything that he went through and come out winning in the end, then I can too. And you definitely can. I found this quote that says, if you want something you've never had, then you have to do something you've never done. And are you letting the mistakes that you've made, the problems, the betrayals that people have made against you to stop you? Are you letting the mistakes of this world get to you? If so, I just want to remind you that I just want you to know, don't forget about the push that your parents gave you forward. And don't miss the opportunity to push the ones that are coming behind you forward. Thank you.